Rose. Welcome to another brand new edition of Big Woo's Top 20 Countdown. This week, we're counting down the top 20 gospel songs. Plus, we're talking to our guest, Mae Greene. And we're doing three. We got some really great extra songs for you at an awesome comedy corner. But you guys, let's get into this countdown. The number 20 song is Charles Jenkins featuring Elder Eric Thomas with God Be Praised. Let's get into it. Charles Dickens featuring Elder Eric Thomas, God Be Praised, on Big Top 20 Gospel Songs Countdown.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys, that was the number 19 song, Doe. That song is called God is in Control. And yes, he is. You guys, we're talking to our guest, Mae Greene. Mae Greene, tell me about yourself. Tell my listeners about yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm Mae Greene. I have a show that's called On the Move Talk Show, meaning that I move around the country with my talk show. My next adventure is I'll leave Los Angeles on the 28th of this month, headed to New Orleans, and from there I'll get picked up and drive to Mobile, Alabama to interview Mr. Alvin Alabama. He used to be the number one Kia dealership salesman here in California. So I'm
Wow.
going there to visit with him. I'm also I also played the old lady in the movie Hapless Revenge. It's about 1860, freeing of the slave. We just had a weekend in Fontana, number 6 retreat, which I won an award on my costume.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
That is so
yes,
cool, man. You're a woman of many talents. Wow.
yes. Uh,
Wow.
yes, so I'm excited because while I'm gone to Alabama, I'm headed to Memphis. I have a friend there who is putting on a big Juneteenth Day celebration the weekend after Juneteenth, that weekend. And
Okay.
I'm from Mississippi originally, and I'm going
Okay.
to ask everybody from Mississippi to come home for a big Juneteenth celebration. Um, the One of the ladies working with us on the BB King Museum in Cleveland, Mississippi, and
Okay.
yeah, so she's going to have a bus that will come to Itabena, Mississippi, where we think that's where we're going to have the function at, where they will pick you up, take you to the museum. You can tour BB King Museum, and they bring you back. And
Wow.
On that Sunday, I'm so excited because there's a city that's called Mount Bayou, Mississippi.
Okay.
It's an all black town, and that's where we're going to
Oh.
go to church. And there's a museum there. We're going to tour that museum. So I got a lot of stuff on my plate for this year and
Um,
next year.
wow, so I thought they already had like a BB King museum. This
They
is gonna be
have it
another
in
one?
No, that it's the one in Cleveland, Mississippi, because Bill Street is where he used to play in Memphis.
Oh,
And
because I think
so
they have one in Indianola, Mississippi.
I well maybe it is it in it because when I've gone there and it said Cleveland, Mississippi. So Indianola and Cleveland is right there together. So yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
So it's
yeah.
the same one then.
I love BB King, so I'm like,
Yeah,
he's one of my
you would be
favorite
both.
rappers. So.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of my
Yeah.
favorite rappers. How did you
Yeah.
get into radio?
That's amazing. Um I used to do prison ministry. And
Hmm.
this young lady asked me to go with her for a session of women who have married men who are in prison. And I went, and when I came into the building, this man almost hit me with the door. And I think you know who he is, Boucher,
Yeah,
UNG Radio.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes, yes.
yes. So he asked, I wrote a book that's called Celebrated Me. It's about domestic violence, being overweight, and abuse. And
Mm,
so he interviewed me. And after he interviewed me, I said to him, "You need a little flavor on your station." And I said, "You need
okay.
to bring some pastors and people from the community in, book writers." And so I helped him with getting different ones to be on his show for a year. And after that, he gave me my own show and he asked me to name it. And I named it Injustice. So after
Mm.
about a year of having to you know, interview different ones, and then you know how you set up an interview and they don't show up.
Yeah,
And I like to,
I've been through that. I've been through that. Oh,
and I love to travel.
yeah.
So in doing that, I met this man named Philip E. Walker, who was a movie producer, and
Mm-hmm.
he's an actor for over 10 years. So I started doing some stuff with him. And then my girlfriend, who is no longer with us, Dietrich Carpenter Kemp, said to me, "Why don't you start your own show? Because you travel, take your show on the road." So that's what I did. Yeah.
Wow, and you've been doing
Yeah.
it
So
ever
that's how I
since.
got into it.
Wow, you've been doing it ever since. We're going to talk
Yeah.
more to you, but let's get back in this countdown. The number 18 song is by a legend. Oh my God, Kirk Franklin. This is a new song called Try Love. Let's get into it. Try Love by Kirk Franklin on Big Woo Top 20 Countdown. You guys stole that from Soul Train. Um, you guys, that was the number 17 song with Sean Mitchell featuring Donnie McClurkin, and the song was called See the Goodness. That's what we got to do every day. We got to see the goodness. We're talking to our guest, Mae Greene. Mae Greene, you're a legend. A
Thank you.
legend. I heard about you. I've been knowing about you. Wow. I
Yes.
think I was actually introduced to you by my good friend, uh, Stephen, guest on the show, Stephen Loud. He told me about you, and I was like, oh well, I have to talk to her, and we've been talking like for how has it been? Has it been a year yet?
I
It's been,
interviewed him also on
yeah.
in just the show.
I think it's been almost a year since I got introduced. We haven't never met in person, but we've communicated on Facebook and all that good stuff.
Okay,
So,
if you're on my Facebook page tonight, I just shared a post where he's going to be in concert tomorrow night, and then
okay,
the 21st, 22nd, they're having a revival. So you like me, I communicate with all of these pastors and bishops,
yes.
and I've never met him, but Steve Lau, I did meet because I interviewed him probably 8 or 9 months ago.
Oh wow,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Wow. And he told me about you, and
Well,
I was like,
thank
oh, I
you.
gotta meet this person. Yeah, I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you get into acting?
Um, I had one person tell me they were going to come that night. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd taken to Facebook. About 2 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, I saw this man named Philip E. Walker, and I
Mm-hmm.
start reading about him. And I said, well, the Bible tells me I have not because I ask not. So I
Mm-hmm.
asked him if he'd be interested in coming the next day for a interview. He lives in Rancho Cucamonga, and the
Mm-hmm.
interview was going to be done on 70 nights in Central. And so
Okay.
I said, well, he'll get it when he wake up. But in a few minutes, he started messaging me back. And we
Mm.
talked from 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. And he gave me
Wow.
my interview. And so
Wow.
he's an actor. And like I said, he has his Walker Enterprise. He produced movies. And so I became his social media coordinator. So 100 Film Retreat on Facebook group
Mm-hmm.
page, that's me. I manage that page for him.
Oh.
And
Oh
so
wow.
yes, and God is so amazing. It would take me all
Okay.
night to tell you how amazing he is. But there is a man in Iran who wrote this script. He
Mm-hmm.
asked Philip E. Walker to produce it, and when
Mm-hmm.
he did, Philip asked me to play the old woman. So that's how I got the part. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I'm
And how many
77 years old.
Wow. And how many
And
films have you been in with him?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say that again.
How many films have you been in with him?
This is the first one, but this is the third film that I've been with him that he made. We have one that's called On the Rocks.
Okay.
That one is just amazing. And then he had produced one himself that's called Sweetest Vacation. Oh my God, that one has won over 257 awards. And then we
Wow.
just recently produced Hapless Revenge in June,
Okay.
and that's 2 months ago. It has already won 57 awards.
Wow,
Ye-
that is amazing.
Yes. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. That
Yes.
is really big.
Yes.
Wow. I'm talking to wow, superstar on here. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes.
I got my actually. I shouldn't say that because I would hurt the rest. I would hurt the rest of my guests if I say that. I got my first bona fide superstar on here. I would
Oh
hurt my
my
guests.
God.
I don't feel
Thank you.
like
I don't
hurting.
feel
I
like
don't
I
feel
don't
like
feel
hurting
like a
nobody's
superstar.
feelings. I don't want to get no mail back. I don't want to get no mail back from anybody saying, "Oh, I'm not a superstar." No,
No, you're the
give me
superstar.
feedback. Yeah,
You're the
yeah,
superstar.
man, that's amazing, man.
Yes.
You're doing a lot. We want to talk more to you about your career, but let's get back in this countdown. The number
Okay.
16 song comes from Keela Richardson. This song is called Home. Let's get into it. Keela Richardson with Home on the Go Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 15 song. Chandler Moore with I Have a Father. And you guys, it's time to get in the extra song of the week. The first extra song of the week, I promise it's not me. First of all, it's not me. Usually I play my songs, but this time this week I'm gonna refrain from playing my songs. Um, this song is by a man who I just got to know on Facebook. His name is Rude J. This is his song that he sent me. It's called "Show Me the Way." Let's get into it. Rude J, "Show Me the Way," the first extra song of the week on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the extra song of the week, Rude J with "Show Me the Way." We're talking to our guest, Mae Greene. You have done, oh man, you have done a lot. You've been in radio. You said you've been in radio how many years?
This is my second year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is
What
my second
what,
year.
what were you doing before the radios?
Um, I retired in 2016, and when I retired, I was a self-storage manager, team leader. I had
Hmm.
11 stores, 5 in California, 5 in Nevada, and 1 in El Paso, Texas. But one of the things that I'm most proud of my career is in 1976, I
Hmm.
became the first Black supervisor for Harley Davidson, the motorcycle company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm very proud of that because I opened up a lot of doors for other Blacks to get hired uh, in the office. They had, workers in the plant, but
Yeah.
when I started there in 1970, there was only 3 Blacks in the office, and in '76, I worked my way up to supervise. I had 17 employees, 11 on first shift and 6 on night shift. So that's one
Wow.
of the things I'm most proud of, is
Oh wow.
God used me to open doors for others.
Wow, you're a trailblazer. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Were you ever like scared like as being one of the only black people there? Were you ever like was there any like prejudice or anything that you dealt with while you were there?
Well, when because my all my employees was white and other nationalities, when I took over, I was the only Black.
Mhm.
A lot of time, back in that era, they didn't want to accept me as a supervisor. So there's
Wow.
time that, employees would leave. And then the challenge was when I had to hire someone else, and then they found out that I'm the one doing the interview, I'm going to be the boss. They didn't accept the job. So in terms, I ended up hiring other Blacks and training them because at that time, a lot of Blacks weren't trained in that profession, you know.
Oh,
So I was proud of, you know, the fact that God allowed me to get in a position where I could help others.
wow, that's a beautiful thing. That really
Yes,
is a beautiful thing.
yes.
And you're also an author too, am I correct?
Yes, I'm very proud of the book because I write about my life as being married for 10 years in a domestic violence situation. I talk about being abused. And I also, during that time,
Hmm.
um, I'm a supervisor, but I didn't think very much of myself. So I spiraled out of control and start eating and start gaining weight. So I talk about the weight, and the book has 3 parts. Part two is 6 ladies and a man talking about abuse, rape. The one man, he was like 400 pounds. He is now around 200 pounds, and he's a mental therapist. I'm so
That's
proud of him. The other lady, one of the other ladies in the book, she was molested by um, a friend of the family, and she ended up having an abortion. It talks about that, and she now owns a radio station. So these
wow.
it's a very inspirational book because we tell you all the things that we went through, but then we give you hope. We give you an example of how to get out of it. If you're in a domestic violence situation and a man say he's going to kill you, a woman say she's going to kill you, take it seriously.
Yes.
You want to take that seriously and you want to have a plan of action. And we talk about all of that. Part three is Dr. Med Hayworth out of Pasadena, California. She was
Hmm.
repeatedly raped. She went to college to be a psychiatrist. And I
Hmm.
have lost 40 pounds listening to what she says because
Yes.
it's not the abuse and what we ate. It wasn't, I'm sorry, it wasn't what we were eating. it's what's eating us on the inside of our stomach. And
That's
so she
true.
taught us how to deal with being able to get rid of that pain in the stomach and stop the craving and uh, self-sabotage. Because one of the other ladies in part two,
Mm-hmm.
they're called the Divine Seven. She did the same thing I did. She sabotaged herself by overeating.
Hmm.
Yes, yes. So it's a great book. Um, I've had speaking engagement. That's where Steve Lau met me. I spoke at a
Okay.
on domestic violence, and so many times we send our kids off to college. And if you Google domestic violence in the college, it's really bad. So that is one of the things that I'm dreaming of now is getting into some of the college and educating the student. Not only are girls battered, but men's are too, but they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I've also spoke at Dominguez College. They had me on speaking about domestic violence. So God has opened up a lot of doors for me. I'm just so grateful. And to be at my age, I have a
Mm-hmm.
daughter that my youngest daughter is turning 50 next month.
Oh, congratulations to her.
Yeah,
Happy birthday to
thank you.
her.
Yeah, thank
Wow.
you.
Well, I think by
Yeah,
the time this airs, it'll be September. So it'll be happy birthday to her.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, yes.
And wow. And so you had to deal with all that. Wow. What's the name of the first one?
Oh,
What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book?
celebrating me. And it's Johnnie, Johnnie Greene, Greene. My middle name is May, so I use Mae Greene for all my social media.
Okay.
Um, so when I talk about abuse, I grew
Uh,
up in the state of Mississippi. So
uh,
my abuse started as a child.
wow.
Yes. So um, there's a lot of layers to my life, and I attribute the things and the way I am today is because of the suffering that I endured. It made me stronger.
Yes.
It gave me compassion for my brothers and my sisters. You know,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Wow, that is deep. We're going to
Hmm.
talk more. We're going to talk more to you, but let's get back in this countdown. The number
Okay.
14, the number 14 song comes from Jacqueline Carr, featuring Tasha Cobbs Leonard and Blanca. This song was called "You Carried Me." Let's get into it. Jacqueline Carr featuring Tasha Cobbs Leonard and Blanca. "You Carried Me." Number 14 on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, we did for number 14, Jacqueline Carr featuring Tasha Cobbler and Blanca with You Carried Me. Number 13 was Brent Jones with Live Your Best Life, great advice. And number 12 was Anthony Brown featuring Zach Savage with Up, Up, Up. You guys, now it's time to get to the comedy corner. I'm usually this is a very good friend of the show. He's appeared on the show. I can't wait for him to like put out my episode that I taped on his show. But let's get into his comedy, the comedy of Andre Mulligan. Let's get into it. Andre Mulligan, C student on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the comedy corner. And you guys, we're talking to our guest, Mae Greene. Wow. But you've been through a lot. And that's one of the things that what's name was telling me that you recently lost a family member.
Yes, I lost my dad uh,
Mhm.
November 30th. My dad had cancer, and I lost him. Um, the funeral was on December 22nd, so that was really a hard one.
I'm
Um,
sorry to hear that.
yeah, thank you. But he was 90. Let's see, Dad was 95. Um,
Wow, that's a
lived a
good age.
beautiful life. Lived a beautiful life.
That's
Yes,
a good age.
yes,
And
yes.
and you were telling me a story about your grandson as well.
Oh my God, yes. That he's in the book too. I
Hmm.
only had one grandchild. My daughter was at the University of Whitewater, and so when he was born, I went and picked the two of them up to bring them back to LA when he was 11 days old. His asthma got worse, and so the doctor said she had to get him out of California. And she moved, transferred to Schaumburg, Illinois. That's the one that's turning 50. And after
Okay.
being there about 2 years, all he knew was California, because
Yeah.
he was born in Wisconsin and he
Yeah.
wanted to come back. So they came back for spring break.
Hmm.
And so I worked the first 4 days, and then we were going to go, and we had all these plans. And on the third day that he was here, he had an asthma attack within the hospital. never came out. He died 15 years old, 6 feet tall, very smart guy. So that was very devastating. My only grandchild, and he was like my child, you know. And
Yeah.
so that threw a curveball at me. But one thing I can say about God, when you're walking with Him, you're meditating with Him daily. All of those things that the devil meant for evil, God turns it for the good.
Ain't
All
lying
of that
about that.
done has made me stronger, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I talk about that in the book also. I talk about growing up in the
Hmm.
state of Mississippi,
Hmm.
the things that I endure, because when I was born in my great grandfather's house, who was a sharecropper.
Yes.
So uh, I had, growing up picking cotton, 200 pounds of cotton a day, and
Wow.
um, no electricity. We had uh, uh, a well that we had to draw the water out of.
Wow.
So I'm so grateful, because when I look back, I had lunch with one of my cousins. She was a assistant principal in the valley, and we were talking about how when you grow up like that, where you were under pressure, you didn't have enough, and you get
Yes.
to the point where you are today,
Yeah.
you walk around with a smile on your face, and people like, how can you be going through what you're going through and have a smile? But when you look in the rear view mirror
Yes.
and see where God brought you from. Oh my God, you know.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen. You
yes,
better say that.
yes,
You better say that.
hmm
Wow. And
yeah,
you're telling the truth. You're telling
yeah,
the truth. I always say that if I didn't go through what I went through in life, I wouldn't be as great as I am today.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And I
Because
went
you're
through a lot. I went through, and God brought me full circle. And when I say He
Mhm.
brought me full circle, as a teenager, well, I wasn't quite a teenager. I think I was like 11 to 12. I was dishwasher at a restaurant, and they were teaching me how to cook. And out of that, I had a passion for cooking. So I've owned 5 restaurants in my life. So I didn't realize God was
Ooh.
preparing me for later.
Wow.
The post office over on Florence and Central, you know where that
Uh-huh.
I used to own the cafeteria inside of there.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yes, I
Oh,
did. Yes,
wow.
yes,
We are
yes,
going, oh my God, on
yes.
Florida. Oh,
Florence and
wow.
Central. Yes,
Oh
from
my God, I grew up around that
2006.
area.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
yes, yes. From
Wow.
2006 until 2008, the 2008 recession wiped me out.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I kept my job and I had a partner, but I had it for 2 years. Yeah.
wow. You know what?
Mhm.
We're gonna talk more about that when I come back. When we come back, we're gonna talk more about that. But we got to get back into this countdown.
Okay.
Because that's wow, I'm discovering so much about you. Um, let's go back. The number 11 song is by Ricky Dillard. This song is called Hold On. Let's get into it. Ricky Dillard with Hold on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 10 song, Mustard featuring Kirk Franklin. The song was called Show Me the Way. Now it's time to get to the second extra song of the week, which is also by Rude J. This song is called Holy Ghost. Let's get into it. Holy Ghost by Rude J on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was Holy Ghost by Rude J by on yeah, he's like I said, I just met him. I barely heard the song, so I put it on because it's gospel, of course. You know what I'm saying? I can't be playing R&B songs with gospel songs. It doesn't match. But we're talking. You guys are talking to our guest, Mae Greene. Wow, I'm discovering so much during this conversation. How did you get into owning? You said you cooking, but what was it like opening your first restaurant? I mean, and how many? You said you had 5 of them.
Yes. So let me go back. Like I said,
Mhm.
that I start working in the restaurant when I was like 11,
Mhm.
12 years old. But the
Yeah.
thing of it is, that was around 62, 63. Um,
Mhm.
like I could work in the kitchen, I learned how to cook, but I couldn't go into the dining area to get the dishes because you weren't allowed in the restaurant. So even if
Wow.
I go back to get a hamburger, I had to go to the back door, because that's in the
Wow.
era where blacks was not allowed in the restaurant. And
That's
so,
great.
you know, but when I left Hurley Davidson in 1980, after I
Hmm.
got a divorce and decided to move back to Mississippi,
Hmm.
God brought me back, and I got a job at that same restaurant. but I became the manager. I worked for the president.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That is
He
something.
turned it around. That was in 1965 uh, that I left Mississippi. But when I came back in 1980, I
Hmm.
became the manager of that same place. Yes,
Wow.
yes,
That was a
yes.
great day. Wow. That was a good
Do you
year.
remember? Do you remember Augustine on in Levert Park on Degna?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
I
yes.
used to be part owner of that.
Are you serious?
Augustine, yes. And so
Wow.
the guy that owned Augustine in Levert Park became my partner at the cafeteria on Central and Florence.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And the
But you,
post office, let's see, the
mhm,
post office on the Marina post office on Jefferson
mhm.
Boulevard, that was
Yes.
the first one that I well, let's say that was the first post office that I owned. But the very first one that I got, I worked for a company. I was a computer operator,
Okay.
and they had a cafeteria. And so during Black History Month, I would always fix food for everybody. And so
Okay.
the guy that was running the cafeteria said to me, why don't you apply for this restaurant, see if you can get it? Because the lady is selling it. I'm like, I can't afford it. God worked
Mm.
it out where I could afford it. The company said, we'll let you buy it if you continue to work for us. So the manager ran it for me, and I continued to
Wow.
work for them. It was a franchise. So then
Yeah.
the guy who was the franchisee saw what I was doing with that restaurant. I turned it around, and he
Hmm.
had the post office on Jefferson that came available. And
Hmm.
God opened up a door where I took over a contract. I didn't get the
Wow.
contract. I took over that contract.
Okay.
But during that time, I was going through a divorce. So
Oh,
I gave it up.
oh,
Yeah. Hmm.
oh. Yeah, because you don't want to you don't want to include that on your property. I understand.
Well,
I
my
mean,
husband was suing me for alimony.
wow. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Usually the woman sues the man for alimony.
But today you better be careful who you marry. When you're a
You,
woman, you
you're
gotta
right about that. These days, you better say you better say that. You better say that. Say that twice for my other listeners. You know, they need to hear that.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
you're
Men
right.
are suing women now.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's the relationships these days are very crazy.
Yes, yes. But I
It's not
tell
like
you, I'm just so grateful to you that you asked me to come on the show, and I'm definitely going to thank Reverend Steve Lau because he heard my testimony when I spoke at the it was for domestic violence and trafficking because both of
okay.
those are very real. Trafficking is really bad. I have a
Yeah.
friend now that's making a movie about trafficking. It's
Okay.
serious. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
That is deep, man. Trafficking. Wow. Because
Hmm.
there's a lot going on with that. We'll
Yeah.
be here for
Oh,
like 30 more hours talking about that.
you got that
Wow.
right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a mess. It's a mess out there.
I'll send you the trailer. I'll send you
Okay.
the trailer so when it
Oh,
comes out, you can promote it.
I would love that. I would love for you
Yeah,
to do that.
I'll send it
Thank
to
you
you.
so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. But you guys, we're going to talk more to our guest, Miss Johnnie Mae Greene. Let's get back in this countdown. The number 9 song comes from Chandler Moore. This song is called Lead Me On. Let's get into it. Lead Me On, Chandler Moore, number 9 on Big Old South 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the number. We did a 3 in a row for you. We did Chandler Moore, Lead Me On. Number 8 was Maverick City Music featuring Chandler Moore and Naomi Rain. The song was called God Problems. And number 7 was a legend, one of my favorites, CC Winans. And the song was
Um,
called Come, Jesus Come. Wow. And we're talking to our guest, Johnnie Mae Greene. Wow. You've done a lot. You've seen a
yeah.
lot. What do you have what do you have coming up next?
Next is I'm leaving Wednesday, a week for Wednesday for New Orleans, and then I'm gonna go from New Orleans to Gulfport and spend the night, and then go over to Mobile, Alabama, to interview uh, Alvin, Alabama, the Kia dealership. Him and his wife
Mhm.
moved to Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, 2 years ago, and it's her birthday. From
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to be with them. I'm so excited. And then from there, I go to Memphis, Tennessee, which is 11 miles from Horn Lake. That's
Okay,
where my godchildren are. Uh,
okay.
so while I'm visiting them, we're going to start planning uh, the Juneteenth for 2025.
Oh,
So
wow.
yes, and I have on the schedule. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to connect. I'm supposed to be interviewing a man who owns three assisted living homes, one in
Mhm.
um, Hot Springs, Arkansas. I think that's the one I'm going to go to. So I'm hoping I can get that in. Otherwise, it'll have to happen when I go back in November, because I'm going to go back to Memphis in November.
Oh, that's cool. I hope it works out that you guys actually do the interview.
Yes, yes, because Steve Lau didn't know about it, but I drove my girlfriend from Las Vegas, Ida Johnson, to Carthage, Texas for a family reunion about
Okay.
8 days ago. And
Uh,
when we got there on Thursday, on Saturday, I get a phone call. My god sister that lived in Kingsman had fallen. When we were going through Kingsman on our way to Texas,
mhm.
she was in the hospital. She died, and she
Oh,
lived by herself. And so I'm very passionate about getting that interview because I want to let people know, yes, you might have a home, you're at my age, but
yes.
it's not safe to be there by yourself. And like
Right.
with these assisted living homes, they're beautiful. You
Mhm.
got your own room, and
Yes.
this way you can interact with other customers that are your age, and they have
Mhm.
church there. They have all kinds of activities, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm letting the baby boomers that are my age know
Mhm.
that there is an alternative. You don't have to be alone. Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think that's
Yeah,
very important.
yeah, that is a very important issue. It really is
Yeah,
a very important issue, not only for the seniors, but also for the children who are taking care of the seniors as well.
it's hard. It's
You
very hard. It's I watched my mother had Alzheimer's, and um, it's very hard. I would she lived in Mississippi, so I would go there. The last year she was alive, I went there about 5 times, and
Wow.
every time it just got harder and harder because
Yeah.
she didn't know me sometime, and so
Mm.
it's very hard on the children. I wouldn't want my children to be responsible for that.
Yeah, because I know how you feel because we had to go through that with my great grandmother. She had dementia.
Hmm.
And to see her go back from, she was a really intelligent woman, to see her to go all the way back to almost childhood, it was like,
Yes,
wow, are you serious?
it's hard. It's hard.
Wow.
Hmm.
Um, but I know she's not suffering no more, so it's a
Right.
good thing. It's a good
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
We,
Yes.
we celebrate, we celebrate their lives, and we keep on going.
That's right. And hold on to the memories. I tell everybody take it one day at a time, like I had to do with my grandson. That was very hard. But
Yeah.
so rather than be sad about his death, sometimes I'll think about it and kind of get a little sad, and then I pull myself out because I go to the good times, the good
Yeah,
memories, the funny time, and
yeah,
and and I come out of it because God don't want us to be sad.
you're
He
right.
doesn't want us to sit around moping, because that's like, to me, I've given up hope. And
Yes,
hope and faith is very important to me.
it really is.
Yes,
Really is. That's the only thing that we have sometimes.
that's it. That's all we got. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, you're not like, oh, we getting deep, we getting deep, we getting the holy up on here. Yeah, that's why this countdown is going on. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk more. We're definitely gonna talk more to you. Let's get back in this countdown. The number six song is another CC Wonder song. This song is called "Holy Forever." Let's get into it. "Holy Forever" by CC Winans on Big Old South 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the number five song, Maverick City Music featuring Sam Rivera. The song is called "Rest on Us." Spirit move over us. Now it's time to get to the old school gem of the week. The old school gem of the week is from a lady. I like this album was released 35 years ago last week. I didn't play it last week because we had Joe. It was George Jones' birthday. But this album was the first album I ever bought. My father ever let me buy. This one is by Janet Jackson. This song is called "The Knowledge." Let's get into it. The Knowledge. I know it's a holy countdown. We got to get. I got to spotlight Janet because I love Janet. Let's get into it. Old school gem of the week. Janet Jackson. The Knowledge on Big Old South 20 Countdown. It's the knowledge. What you really want? Hey, hey, hey! It's the knowledge. That what you really want? She don't know. She don't know what I'm talking about. So, but You
I
know me.
know.
So I'll start dancing and forget that we have a countdown. Because I'm like, we grew up on that. And
Yes.
May, you know what? May, I usually get into people's business, but I'm not gonna do that with you. Because I respect you. You're my elders. I respect you. So we're just gonna ask you to do an inspirational, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Give me some 2 minutes of inspiration of somebody who would like to do what you're doing, who would like to survive what you survived. Get into it.
Okay. One of the things I keeps me going is I meditate daily, and I get still and listen to that voice of God. Um, I always remember, no matter what you're going through, God is right there with you. And I one of my favorite scriptures is all things work together for the good of them that love God and are called according to his purpose. And
Right.
remember, God will always supply your needs.
That's
Your
right.
darkest days is when you really need to meditate and get close to God.
That's right.
Also, faith is a driving factor and force for me.
Mm,
It's so important that you exercise your faith every day.
that's
Hebrew
right.
11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen." But Hebrew 11:6 says, "But without faith it's impossible to please God." And if you want more faith, you got to study God's word, because in his word it says faith comes, and it comes by hearing his word. And
Hmm.
how, so if you want more faith and you want to believe and trust God, get into the word. The word is the driving factor. And I am where I am today because of meditating on God's word. And whatever you do in your practice, be fair in your practice and treat people's right. Don't ever
That's,
treat anybody or plan to treat anybody wrong, because God is very much against that.
that's right.
And pride and arrogance, if you walking in those, let it go. Because there was one time that I thought I was so cute and whatever, and I had pride and I was very arrogant. That's a very bad thing. As I study God's word, it helps you to drive out all of those negative things. So trust God no matter how bad it is.
That's
I hope
right.
that, yes.
That's great. That's great inspiration. I can't talk. Inspiration. That's awesome inspiration, man. Everybody needs to. Wow, you said a mouthful right there, man. That's real. Um,
Yeah.
we're going to talk more to you, but let's get back into countdown. The number 4 song comes from Corinne Hawthorne. The song is called "Look at God." Let's get into it. Corinne Hawthorne, "Look at God." Oh my God, stop putting countdown. Excuse me. You guys, we did a 3 in a row for you. We did Corinne Hawthorne with "Look at God." Number 3 was Maverick City Music featuring Chandler Moore, Naomi Rain, and the awesome Tasha Cobb Leonard. That song was called "In the Room." Number 2 was Elevation Worship featuring Maverick City Music, Chandler Moore, and Naomi Rain with Gyra. Now it's time to get into the number 1 song. The number 1 song, she's been on the countdown. This is the 3rd song of hers on this countdown. It is by the legendary CC Winans, my girl. I love her. And this song is called "That's My King." Let's get into it. Number 1, CC Winans, "That's My King." I'm gonna go stop 20 countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the number 1 song, CC Winans. May, how can people reach you?
You can reach me. My email address is Johnnie, JOHNNIE .Greene, GREENE at yahoo.com. My phone number is 310
Mhm.
707 5408. Again, 310 707 5408.
I would like to say thank you to our guest, Johnnie Mae, for stopping by and sharing her story and parts of her story with me. I appreciate that so much.
Thank
Thank you.
You're
That
so
was so
welcome.
awesome. I want to say also thank you to the stations that carry us, the Block FM, the what's the name, Five Hits Radio, Amazon, not Amazon Music, what's it called, Spotify, Apple Music, everybody who's that, also the podcast awards, because we're nominated for 3 awards this year, and I'm very pleased at that. Thank you,
Praise
thank you,
God.
thank you for that. Yes, yes. And you guys, I can't believe we made it to the ninth season. And this is don't get me started with how many shows we've done because I lost count after 300. So I want to say thank you to you guys for hanging with me for the past 9 seasons. You have just made this so fantastic. And keep on listening because we got more to come. Also, the thought for the week is never give up, no matter what's going
Never
on in
give
your
up.
life. And you
Yes.
guys, we always end this with a gospel song. And y'all know I love me some Karen Clark Sheard. She's back. He has a new album called Still Karen. And every week we're playing at least one song from that album. And this song is called Yes. Let's get into it. Yes, by Karen Clark Sheard, the first lady, my first lady of the Church of God in Christ, Karen Clark Sheard. Yes, on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. May God bless you. May God keep you until we meet again.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.